channel 33, RPM.
Tonight, the best rock albums of 2014. This is the Audiophiles. Hey, it's Frank.
And I'm Hav.
And you're watching the Audiophiles. Today we're talking about some of our favorite new releases of 2014. So how'd you come up with your list of favorites of the year?
Yeah, well, you know what, for me it was just a couple of albums that I'm really happy with. Happy with the purchase, could be above average for me in terms of what I found from them, and just really liked it. What about you?
You know what? I'll just get right into it and I'll show you.
All right.
One of my favorite albums of this year is by a Canadian band. They've been around for a while, and they put out a really cool album. I'm talking about Big Sugar Yard Style, or The Acoustical Sounds of Big Sugar. It's a double record, gatefold, and really this is sort of acoustic reggae. They do some new tracks and some reworked versions of old ones. And I was actually doing an interview with Gordie Johnson, the singer-guitar player, earlier this year, and he mentioned he's a huge vinyl fan. He listens to records on a daily basis. So it was not surprising to me. This album was so good I picked up the CD as well. It wasn't surprising to me that the CD was actually made to look like a little record. Check that out. Pretty cool. So it's a fantastic album.
You know what? I have to agree with you. I really like this album. I'm not the biggest Big Sugar fan, but I got to tell you, they've been consistent, always delivering the goods, and they've stayed true to themselves. So, very good album. I remember hearing it in the summer, and it was just a great album just to sit back and enjoy.
Great summer album, and you can tell Gordie is just doing it because he loves doing music.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of consistency, one of the bands that I've picked actually is the same thing. You know, one of the things that I noticed this year, at least for me, is that most of the vinyl that I actually picked up were either reissues or anniversary issues, and just, you know, some of the classic stuff that I wanted to get. So, but for new music and new releases, one of the ones that I was really excited about and did not really disappoint was the new Godsmack album.
Godsmack.
1000 HP. I've got to tell you, the album cover, wow, cheesy.
That album cover's horrible.
It is, I won't lie to you. I saw it and I was like, oh no, come on. But it doesn't do justice to the album. The first song, of course, 1000 HP, you know, again, it's a throwaway. It's a little bit of a self-indulgent kind of song. But a lot of the other songs on here are really good. It's one of those bands that have just been really, you know, lacking the last couple of efforts. But this is back to their true form. Very consistent. It's Godsmack. You get what you pay for with this one.
Well, usually what you're paying for is an Alice in Chains clone band, aren't you?
Hey, I won't disagree with you that they were heavily influenced by Alice in Chains, but I got to give you this. This is one band that's uncompromising. They're still doing what they do, have not buckled to all the trends and coming up with all kinds of different stuff. If you like Godsmack, you won't be disappointed. Not their best album, but definitely a good album for 2014. And
yeah, you know what's cool? That a lot of these bands are still putting albums out, considering the downloading, and a lot of people aren't buying music anymore, so more power to them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. Well, my next pick here is, you know, this guy, I don't say this too often, he's a living legend.
You say it every day.
He's a living legend. He's a living legend. He's a living legend.
He truly is, though. This guy's been putting out albums for years. He's now a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he's probably put out his most solid album since the 1970s. Talking about Ace Frehley, Space Invader, fantastic album, and he really got in touch with his roots. The artwork here, as you know, Ace, of course, was the former guitar player of Kiss, the classic era, the Spaceman, and he went back to his roots with this. And this album artwork is actually done by Ken Kelly, who did the original artwork for Destroyer and Love Gun, classic Kiss albums. And you know, he refers to some of his old Kiss days here. He's got the lightning bolt, which refers to his old Spaceman motif. And I can't say enough of this album. Solid effort.
You know, for me, Ace has always sort of hung his hat on his old stuff, and you know, trying to kept his I don't know, his image. Everything was all about what he used to do, and it hadn't really been very good. But this one, I have to give you, it's probably the best effort I've heard from Ace since his solo album when he was with Kiss.
Yeah, back in the 70s.
I love the retro feel of the album cover. But yeah, this is definitely one of his better albums that he's put out. The music is solid. I think he maybe stopped taking himself too seriously, but whatever it is, great album. I really enjoyed this band.
He stopped drinking. That's what he did. He's been
Fair.
sober for whatever 7 or 8 years. But
Months? Sorry?
Years.
Years.
Yeah.
Anyway, to me, this was actually a solid release from him. I was really happy with it.
Ace is back and he told you so.
Back and he told you so.
That's the transition.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
I've been waiting a while, so
Yeah, well, you know what? For me, it's another newer band. For me, it's a band I've been actually watching for about 3 albums now, and I know when they first came out, wow. You know how they normally say young bands really hold their influences or wear their influences on their sleeves, as it were. This band, wow, wore it on their sleeves, their pants, their shoes, their hair, everything. They were a real throwback to the old glam kind of style. And a lot of people often refer to them as a bit of a Motley Crue clone. I mean, the lead singer actually had his original pseudonym to be almost like one of his heroes, Andy Six.
I don't know who that is, so bring this on.
So I'm talking about the Black Veil Brides. This is a band that I've been watching now for a little while. Their first album was a classic dose of that old style glam. Nothing new. It was well done for what it was, but hey, I wouldn't say it was particularly innovative, but you could really see where they were going with that. Then they did an album that was more of a concept album, but this one is their first one where they've come out again. I guess their 4th album really, and they've evolved yet again. So they keep evolving, moving forward. You still hear the influences. I'm not gonna lie.
Motley Crue Jr.
No, actually, heavier. For sure. They did go through that whole phase of the, you know how Motley went through Shout at the Devil, Theater Pain, Into Girls, and their whole look changed. Well, these guys have slowly lost the whole makeup look and are going more for that street look. But definitely a lot heavier, still more modern sounding, but I think they're updating a lot of that classic metal sound where you had the twin guitar attack of Judas Priest as a good example. So this is a band where you can see them developing. They're getting better. This is a band whose star is rising, and as they really come into their own, really talented. I mean, you've got some great musicianship, and you've got a vision here with the bass player and the singer of where they're taking it. You combine it all. It's a nice little package.
Stars Rising, dude. Aren't they playing, pubs and bars nowadays?
Yeah, they're on their world tour. Where's your band playing? Oh, that's right. Your basement.
This to me is my favorite album of the year. Right. Classic metal band. Again, I said Ace Frehley was back. These guys are back too. Talking about Judas Priest.
Good choice.
Redeemer of Souls. And KK Downing, one of the founding members, left, guitar player. So was, what were they going to come up with?
Yeah,
Rob Halford's vocals have kind of been, spotty in recent years. But this is a solid album from beginning to end. The record comes in the gatefold. And, it's got the old imagery of that Priest is known for. Yeah. And they kind of lost me for a while in the 90s and 2000s, but solid effort.
The album cover, classic Priest right there. Definitely a modernized version, showing that, they still got the chops. This, to me, is actually probably the best album of this year.
Best album of this year.
But I was really actually quite taken about that, the whole Viking theme that they have going on. Just really tied it together quite nicely, actually. But yeah, Redeemer of Souls, Redeemer of Judas Priest in my mind.
Nice one. I didn't even notice this Viking theme until you mentioned it, but some of these songs sort of have the Viking vocals or the melodies
Schlager.
Or the Now I think Vikings when I hear this, so I don't want to say it's ruined it for me. Let's create a whole new image. But I'm glad we agree.
Yeah.
Top album of the year, Judas Priest. Nice to see them back.
Yeah, I'm very happy with this album. Best album in my mind for the 2014.
Nice. Listen, thanks for watching. If you dug this episode, it only takes a moment to like and share.
Yeah, tell us what your favorite albums are in 2014.
We'll see you in 2015.
Take care.